Howdy, it's Papa. Hello, rock buddies. We've been talking about the Acadian orogeny, happened during the Devonian period, 400 to 350 million years ago. We talked about the smashing and crashing and the sliding along the Brevard Fault Zone, but I did not tell you about something really important that happened during the Acadian mountain building event that they used to think happened during tectonic, and that is the emplacement of many granite plutons. What is a pluton? A pluton is a hunk of granite that's pretty big. Maybe it covers half a county. And then there's also a granite batholith. That's a big hunk of granite. It might cover a fourth of a state, or maybe 5 or 10 counties, something like that. So let's just review granite and its metamorphic equivalent, granite gneiss. I'm over at my rock pile. So here we are, one of my mini rock piles actually. We're looking at granite. Here's a good example. And this is granite that has not been weathered. It's dug up from a granite quarry near here. This is probably Alberton granite, more than likely. And you see it's light colored. It's speckled, kind of semi-evenly speckled with clear quartz, white feldspar, some miramuscovite, and some black biotite. Here's another specimen of granite. This one did not come from the United States, as far as I know, or it definitely didn't come from Georgia, but it's got some beautiful reddish colored feldspar in it. That's gorgeous. And of course, this is a specimen from a place where they polish it. Here's a polished surface and sell it. Here's another piece. This is a piece of Alberton granite that's weathered. So you can see the difference between the two. Unweathered, nice and fresh, and weathered. Like this came from an outcrop on the land, actually near the dump. But as opposed to being dug up from a quarry. Okay, that's granite. If you take granite can be emplaced into the edge of a continent by crashing events like the tectonic, like the Acadian, like the Alleghanian. If granite is already there when these mountain building events happen, these crashes, the crashing causes metamorphism to occur on the granite, and the granite turns into granite gneiss. How do you tell the difference between granite and granite gneiss? Here are some examples of granite gneiss. See the stripes? You'll see the stripes right off. Very noticeable striping. That's a quarry specimen also. If they don't have stripes, they'll be all beat up looking and mashed a little bit like this Corbin granite gneiss. There's a good example. It's not granite gneiss, it's biotite gneiss, but see the swirling pattern? That's how you can tell basically granite from granite gneiss. Okay, so now we're ready to talk about the emplacement of plutons during the Acadian orogeny. You know, they used to think, well, we'll talk about what they used to think in a minute. When the Acadian microcontinent crashed in, it crashed in to the upper part of the eastern United States from Virginia north, and at that time it created some granite plutons. And how does it do this? It mashes down on the crust, and whatever granite or granite gneiss is down there in the crust, which land crust is made of granite and granite gneiss, that gets remelted and turns into granite. If you take granite gneiss, which is metamorphic granite, and you subject it to pretty extensive pushing and shoving, tectonic pushing and shoving, it can remelt into granite, and that's what usually happens. That happened in the Acadian mountain building event all up and down the eastern United States. Let's look at some of these granite plutons, granite bodies that were in place during the Acadian mountain building event. In Georgia, you have in the inner Piedmont, you have the Lithonia granite. It's granite gneiss now, but it was emplaced as granite during Acadian. Mount Arabia in Georgia is, a lot of people think it's just granite, but it's granite gneiss. It is part of that Lithonia granite gneiss. During Acadian, the lithonia pluton, or batholith, is a batholith, was emplaced as granite. So now you know something has to happen to turn that granite into granite gneiss. What was it? It was the Alleghanian orogeny, when Africa actually crashed. So lithonia granite, which is very extensive, east of Atlanta. It's all over East Atlanta. Trying to think. North Druid Hills Road in Atlanta. And there's another road that it has granite in it. But okay, and in the Eastern Blue Ridge, we have the Austell granite. It's another granite that was emplaced right about the Acadian mountain building event as granite, and has now become granite gneiss. The Athens, Georgia granite gneiss, which was in place during the Acadian orogeny as granite, and later, when Africa crashed, was turned into granite gneiss. So all these Georgia plutons, batholiths, granites were in place during Acadian orogeny. That's Devonian. That would be between 400 million and 350 million years ago. They used to think it all happened during Taconic down here in the south, but no, now they know by more updated dating techniques, more accurate dating techniques, that it happened during Acadian. North Carolina, you got the Rocky Face Mountain, which is part of the Brushy Mountains, and Mount Airy. Those were granite bodies that were in place during Acadian as the Carolina Terrane / Acadian microcontinent slid down along the Brevard Fault Zone. They are now granite gneiss bodies. Now let's talk about further north. Let's go to New York. You have the Peaksville granite. Now the Peaksville granite, yes, just like all the other ones, was emplaced as granite during Acadian orogeny. It's still granite. It's still granite. Peaksville granite in New York is still granite. Why? Because the Alleghanian orogeny, when Africa actually crashed, did not touch the northern states. It went as far north as southern Virginia and then stopped. You didn't have this smashing and crashing of Africa up there. The Acadian was the last thing that happened from about Virginia north. So all these bodies that were in place as granite up there are still granite. New England, you got the White Mountains, granite, not granite gneiss, but they were in place during Acadian. In Maine, you've got Mount Katahdin, which is the northern terminus of the Appalachian Trail. That's granite in place during Acadian orogeny, never turned into granite gneiss. Cadillac Mountain in Maine, where Acadian National Park is, that's all granite that was in place during Acadian and has not been metamorphosed into granite gneiss because the Alleghanian didn't touch up there. In other words, Africa didn't crash up there. In Canada, you have Mount Royal. And if you kind of say that fast, you get Montreal. Montreal, Canada is built on a big hunk of granite called Mount Royal, and that was in place during the Acadian mountain building event. And is still granite. So all those granite bodies that were in place from about southern Virginia south, they all got metamorphosed into granite gneiss when Africa crashed. But all those granite bodies that were in place by the Acadian orogeny from about Virginia north did not get metamorphosed into granite gneiss because Africa, when it came as part of the Alleghanian orogeny that we'll talk about next, did not hit up there and smash them. So that's the story about these granite bodies. And like I say, we all originally thought that it all happened during the Taconic. And there were likely plutons in place by Taconic up north. But by far most of the plutons down in Georgia, North Carolina, Alabama, were in place during the Acadian mountain building event. And down here, they were further metamorphosed into granite gneiss when Africa crashed a little bit later. Okay, so that's an addition to the Acadian orogeny. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Stay safe and send me comments if you can. Okay, Papa out.